Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angel. I have been thinking a lot. I enjoyed my first Sabbath this weekend on Saturday. Felt really good. You know, God gave me a lot of things that I need to go on this next journey I'm in life, and healing my trauma and just being patient and understanding that anything that's happening in my life is happening for my purpose. Waking up this morning, it was even hard to do this video because I haven't made a video in 2 days. So getting my mind back into like, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is my calling, like this will fulfill me, and I'm doing this for the long term, because right now every day is a battle. Every day is a battle dealing with me. I have a lot of things in me that I know now he's trying to get out. You know, when we first started this thing and I was, you know, having the visions in my mind, it's been, I'm gonna just tell you guys what I saw because it's the only thing how I can explain it. In my mind, I saw demons that had Freddy Krueger type hands, right? And it was just like they wouldn't let me go. Like, it was dark and I was crawling on my knees, right? I was crawling and they were pulling my hair. They wouldn't let me go, and I was crawling, I was on my belly. There was glass everywhere. I didn't see it was glass, but I know it was glass because I know how glass feels. So I was just crawling on my hands and my feet and my belly, just trying to get to this light I seen. Get to light. Because if anybody knows me, they know that I don't play with the dark. Like, I don't like the dark. Bad stuff happens in the dark. So he put me and my mind in a dark place where I had to fight to get out. And by the time I reached that light, without a doubt in my mind, I know I was dead, because I was just laying there and there was glass all in my hands. It was glass everywhere. It was glass in my belly. And he breathed breath back into my nostrils. You know, that moment he did that, I was healed. But I had to work up all these steps, you know, figuring out how I'm healed. You know, what that really means. Like, how does that show up in my life? And it's just been a lot of choices and decisions that I made to just better myself as a person, mother, human, anything. Like, it's just been a beautiful experience to even experience this everything that I'm going through. And it just reminds me of like a dark time that I had, you know. That moment reminded me of when my baby's father first got out of jail, and I was really depressed, really sad, just dark. Couldn't figure out why he didn't love me, why he hated me, why he'd pick all these other women over me. Like, what was wrong with me, you know? So I give him his son, just thinking that because I didn't think that I could love my son because I didn't love him. I didn't think that I knew how to love a little boy. And looking back now, I know that's from experience. That's what I've seen growing up. Like, it's just been a lot of me, you know. So I give him the child. He ends up keeping the child from me because of some shit that we had going on. And I was so mad, guys, because I know now that a demon possessed my body, because I didn't want to just hurt this man for hurting me. I didn't want to just, it wasn't just like any old hurt. I was going to kill my child just to get back at him. Like, I was going to take away the blessing that God gave me. I was just having a lot of anger, you know. So it was just figuring out like what was going on. I didn't know it at the time, but like, I wanted to kill my son to hurt this man. And when I got my son back, I realized that I love my son more than I love that man. And it was a good thing that I wanted to, you know, protect my son, but like, to the extent of what was happening in my mind was trying to convince me that my son was my enemy. That my sweet little innocent little child was the reason that my life was so hard, was the reason that everything in my life wasn't going right, why I couldn't get back to me. But I know now God didn't want that for me. So I just want y'all to know, like, this thing that God is doing inside of me is just big. Like, saying that, I've never told anybody that. It's actually one of the most embarrassing things in my life, because postpartum depression really messed with my mind. And like, on top of some demonic shit, because I look at him now, and if I would have did that, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. Because his love is so genuine. It's so real. It's so the love Elijah would give me. He loves me so much. And I just can't believe that it took me so much time and energy to even realize that I do love my son. And it wasn't my son that I hated, it was that man. It was the man that made women laugh at me. The man that made me, walked away from me. You know, we were living together and he just walked away. I was like 7 months pregnant. And he just packed his bags and left me, knowing that I couldn't work because I was too pregnant. It was just a lot of him doing what he was created to do, and to bruise my heel, you know, to get me to not need him but to need God. And I get that, but it's still hard to accept. It's hard to accept that I was so consumed in me that I didn't even realize that what I was looking for was right in front of my face. Like, I didn't hold my son. I didn't kiss my son until he was about, when I first started making the videos back in November of last year. That was the first time I really started to get affectionate with him, you know, hug him, hold him. And it just makes me sad because I missed out on so much time, you know. I thought the baby was crying because he was trying to make me crazy. I used to be scared to go in his room because I didn't know what I was capable of. I didn't know why my mind was telling me to hurt him when I knew that I should love him, you know. God's got me sitting in that. Like, I thought a new video would come, but it never did. So this is the video. And it's really hard because I didn't go through it like that with Amaya. I loved her from the moment I saw her. I loved her. I loved her, but with him it was hard. It was so hard to distinguish the two because he looks so much like him. So my mind, you know, I was talking about when I was 9 years old, not getting up for the people I love, you know. And it's just been hard. It's just been really, really, really hard sitting in that, knowing that at one point in my life that I was capable of killing my son just to hurt somebody else the way I felt like they hurt me. Like, pain runs deep in my family. Like, the pain I feel isn't just my pain. Like, I'm connected to everybody's pain in my entire generations of people since we first got created on this earth. Like, I'm connected to their pain, their trauma, their agony, their everything. And I'm better now. With God's grace on my life, I'm better now. I no longer feel like that. I no longer need the love of you guys to make me feel like I'm loved. Because your love, the love of people, isn't the same of the love with God and yourself. You know, I picked a lot of bad relationships, friendships, situations, just trying to feel loved. And all it did was make me do drugs. Like, and I know now that that's my path. That was my path. I had to go on it, you know. And it's okay because with God's grace, I didn't do any of those things that my mom was trying to tell me to do. You know, really proud of myself. Every day I wake up and do this, I'm just proud of myself because this is hard. And God was showing me images all weekend, especially when I fast, and it was intensified. It was very intense, and it was beautiful. So even with all this pain that he's already healed, and I'm working on just believing that I'm healed, you know, it's just still just the images showing me the life that I've always wanted. It's not the things, it's none of the things, it's me, my smile, the ability to love my children, and despite of the days I don't love myself. I never want to get so wrapped up in me that I blame them for anything that's going on in my life. It's not their fault. It's not any of our faults. It's government, anything that's been put to stand in the way of us and what we're like, the getting to the best parts of ourselves, you know. And I'm just one day at a time, one step at a time, still bigger footsteps, still bigger steps, all that stuff, but it's still just sitting in me. I'm just sitting in me, and figuring out how he could love me, talking about God, how he can love me in despite of everything I've done. You know, I know now, like, I'm this beautiful, amazing woman, and I only want to do right by God. So it's just like, he loved me before this. He loved me before I could get up and do this. He loved me when I almost let my mind kill my child. If I would have listened to those overwhelming, consuming thoughts, I would have killed my only son. I wouldn't have came back from that. But I know now, like, that's how the world, like, that's how it is. That's how these spirits work. They come in your life and they overwhelm you with thoughts and spirits and energies that are so bigger than you. Not bigger than God, bigger than you. Because without God, you're nothing. I'm learning that, essentially. Like, without God, I'm nothing. I have no reason to live, breathe, eat, nothing. I just want to die. And I don't want to feel like that anymore. I don't want my mistakes, the things I did or didn't do, to control my future, my destiny, who I'm created to be, you know. And just being patient. Walking with God has been the most patient, humbling experiences of my entire life. And I'm just enjoying me at this moment. Just enjoying all the things that God's blessing me with. All the things he's showing me. Like, I'm literally able to look at somebody, right? And just know. I don't know what it is. I don't know really what it is. But I know there's something about certain people that just, I can't be around you. Because there's something in you that wants to feed something in me that I'm trying to heal. And I'm doing this, y'all. I'm doing this in despite of me. I'm doing this because this is what God created me to do. I didn't go through all that pain, trauma, and hurt to grow up and still be in pain. You know, I got so used to being in pain that I thought that was normal. I thought it was normal to wake up feeling like shit and just keep a smile on your face, dress nice, do your hair, be cute, right? Be fancy. I thought that was normal. That's a walking corpse. Like, if you have no purpose, no real reason to live, like kids are, like, they're the most amazing creatures in the world, but like sometimes they're not enough. And it's self, you know. Can't love any human being until I love myself, kids or not. Because when I don't love me, they're a part of me. They came from me. So when I say I can't love them, it's not that I can't love them, I can't love me. So of course I can't love anything that came from me grew in my womb, felt my heartbeat, knows all my pain before I even say it. My Elijah especially, like this little boy, like I'll just be having thoughts, sitting there just in my head, and he'll come up to me like, "Mommy, what's wrong?" I did it this morning. There was nothing wrong, just me and Maya. We just come sometimes go at it. You know, she's still figuring herself out and just all these emotions that are going on in her body, and she wants to be a big kid so bad, but I just tell her, baby, you got to enjoy your childhood. You only get one opportunity in life to be a child, and after that, you're not a child anymore. Society no longer sees you as a child once you're an adult, so they have places for people that want to be crazy. They have places for people that do bad things. Like, figuring this out. One day at a time, one step at a time, one obstacle at a time, one breath at a time. A moment of silence, and we're starting now. Bye guys, until my next video.